You weren't educated about this in school. No one explained how to think about money, how to attract it, save it, and multiply it. You were trained to work, but not to think like a wealthy person. And that's why most people stay where they are. They try to earn more without changing the way they think. Because the truth is simple, you can never overcome poor thinking with work. It can only be reprogrammed. But here's the truth. You can't outwork a poor mindset. You can only reprogram it. This is The Mindset of Millionaires, an audiobook for the ones who are tired of struggling, for those who know deep down they're capable of more, and for the few who are ready to build a relationship with money that's healthy, abundant, and powerful. If that's you, this is your moment. So take a deep breath. Because what you're about to learn isn't just about earning more, it's about becoming more. But first, dear friend, you are definitely on the right track if you are watching this video. Like, subscribe and write in the comments which topic or problem concerns you the most. We promise to prepare a professional video explanation at your request. Chapter 1. Money begins in the mind. Money doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your belief system. Every financial result in your life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is simply a reflection of your internal programming. Most people think their income is limited by opportunity. It's not. It's limited by identity. You can only attract and keep the amount of wealth your self-image allows. That's why you could give $1 million to someone with a broke mindset, and in a year, they'd lose it all. But give the same million to someone with a wealthy mindset, and they'll multiply it. Why? Because one person is programmed to survive, and the other is programmed to expand. Remember, you don't get rich by chance. You get rich by choice and by conditioning that choice into your brain every single day. If you want to make more money, you have to train your brain to see money differently, to see it as energy, as a relationship, as something that flows toward clarity, confidence, and contribution, not confusion, fear, or guilt. Chapter 2. The Science of Wealth. Programming. Your brain is like a computer. Every belief you hold about money is a line of code written by someone else. Parents, teachers, society, or pain. Maybe you were told, money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. It's selfish to want more. Or be grateful for what you have. Don't ask for too much. Each of those phrases became a program, and every time you acted poor, settled for less, or sabotaged a win, you were just following that program. But here's the good news. Every belief can be rewritten. You can install new mental software. You can condition your brain to think like a millionaire, not by luck, but through repetition and emotional rehearsal. The brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It just follows what you repeatedly feed it. That's the secret behind every successful person. They train their subconscious with focus and feeling. They don't wait for evidence. They create it through consistent visualization, affirmation, and alignment. Because when your brain starts believing you already are the person who earns more, your behavior automatically adjusts to match it. Chapter 3. Your Relationship with Money. Let's be honest. You've probably had a complicated relationship with money. You love it, but you fear it. You chase it, but resent it. You want more, but secretly feel guilty about it. Sound familiar? Here's the problem. Money responds to emotion. And if your emotional energy toward it is mixed, your results will be too. Imagine money as a partner, a relationship? Would money feel respected, valued, and safe with you? Or would it feel ignored, mistreated, or unappreciated? If you constantly say, money isn't everything, money is hard to get, I'm just not good with money, then money doesn't want to stay with you. Money doesn't chase you. It mirrors how you treat it. Millionaires respect money because they understand its language. They track it, study it, and grow it, not out of greed, but because they know control creates freedom. If you want to train your brain for wealth, start by repairing your emotional relationship with money. Instead of saying, I hate bills, say, I'm grateful I have the ability to pay for what I use. Instead of, I can't afford that, say, how can I afford that? These subtle shifts rewire your brain from lack to leverage. Chapter 4, The Mental Movie of Millions. Every morning, your thoughts project a movie into the future. The question is, what kind of film are you directing? If your inner dialogue is full of doubt, fear, and limitation, you're rehearsing poverty before you even start your day. So let's rewrite the script. Visualize your ideal financial life in vivid detail. See the numbers in your account. Imagine the feeling of opening your banking app and seeing balance, stability, growth. Feel the peace that comes from security, the joy that comes from contribution. Because when you feel it is real, your brain begins to find ways to make it real. Neuroscience calls this cognitive priming. Your mind starts filtering opportunities that match your belief system. Suddenly, you notice connections you used to ignore. You attract mentors, ideas, and partnerships that align with your new standard. You're not manifesting magic, you're activating your focus. The brain follows emotion, not logic. Whatever you feel most intensely, you eventually find. That's why visualization works. It's not wishful thinking, it's strategic conditioning. Chapter 5. Your brain believes what you repeat. What you tell yourself daily becomes your identity, and identity drives income. If you wake up saying, I'm broke, I'm unlucky, I'm not a numbers person, your brain doesn't argue, it obeys. It will filter out every chance to prove you wrong. Because the subconscious mind's job is not to make you successful. It's to make you consistent. So if your identity is broke, your brain will keep you broke, even when opportunities knock. But if you reprogram that identity to, I am a builder of wealth, I am disciplined with money, I attract abundance through value, then your mind starts looking for evidence to confirm it. You begin to make better choices. You manage energy, not excuses. You move from reaction to intention. You start acting like the person you've been visualizing. And wealth follows action that aligns with identity. This is where it begins. Not with a strategy, not with a spreadsheet, but with your self-image. Because before you can earn like a millionaire, you must think like one. And before you think like one, you must train your brain to believe you're worthy of it. In the next part, we'll break down the exact neuroscience of wealth, how to use repetition, association, and emotion to rewire your subconscious patterns for financial success. We'll go deeper into the habits of high earners, and I'll show you how to install millionaire thinking permanently. Chapter 6. Rewiring your brain for wealth. Let's get scientific, because this isn't just motivation. This is neurology. Inside your brain are billions of neural pathways. Every time you think a thought or repeat a behavior, you strengthen a specific connection. That's what psychologists call neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reshape itself. And this is the real reason the rich keep getting richer. They've wired their brains for opportunity. Their default reaction to risk is curiosity, not fear. Their instinct is to ask how, not why not. Meanwhile, most people's brains are wired for survival. They associate money with stress, not strategy. So even when new possibilities appear, they hesitate, and hesitate long enough for someone else to take them. The mind is like a muscle. If you train it to spot problems, it will. If you train it to spot opportunity, it will. You don't attract wealth by wishing for it. You attract it by thinking like someone who deserves it. So how do you train your brain? You start small, with repetition. Every day, feed your mind beliefs that reinforce abundance. Write them, speak them, visualize them. The more you practice new thoughts, the stronger those neural circuits become, until your subconscious starts acting on wealth instinctively. This is how you build millionaire reflexes. Chapter 7. Fear is expensive. Let's talk about the hidden tax that keeps most people poor. Fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of losing what little they have. These fears don't just drain emotion. They destroy potential income. Because every financial opportunity requires risk. And when your brain associates risk with danger instead of growth, it will subconsciously shut down anything that feels unfamiliar. That's why so many people self-sabotage. They don't lack talent. They lack tolerance for uncertainty. The rich have simply trained their nervous systems differently. They've conditioned themselves to stay calm under chaos, to look at failure as data, not disaster. They understand that the brain confuses discomfort with danger, so they lean into that discomfort, knowing it's where growth hides. You're not broke because of the risks you took. You're broke because of the ones you avoided. If you want to make more money, you must get comfortable being uncomfortable. You must rewire your fear response to associate risk with expansion, not pain. Every time you make a bold decision and survive, your brain learns that growth is safe, and eventually it becomes your new normal. That's the evolution of wealth, turning what once scared you into what now strengthens you. Chapter 8. Self-image is your financial ceiling. There's a thermostat in your subconscious, not for temperature, but for success. No matter how hard you work, you will always return to the level your mind believes you deserve. That's why lottery winners go broke and high achievers rebound from failure. Because income rises and falls to meet self-image. If you think of yourself as someone who just gets by, your subconscious will sabotage anything beyond survival. You'll procrastinate, waste time, or make emotional decisions that shrink your potential. But if you train your self-image to say, I am a wealth creator, your brain automatically filters life through that identity. You start speaking differently. You move differently. You invest differently. Remember, money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies who you believe yourself to be. To raise your income permanently, you must first raise your internal thermostat. Every day, act like the person you're becoming. Dress, think, and execute like your future self. Because the brain doesn't follow intentions, it follows identity. If you want more, you must be more. Chapter 9. How Millionaires Think Differently. The difference between rich and poor isn't luck or intelligence. It's mental models. The poor think in scarcity. The rich think in systems. The poor ask, how can I save money? The rich ask, how can I make my money multiply? The poor see price. The rich see value. The poor see problems. The rich see patterns. The poor say, I can't afford that. The rich say, how can I afford that? It's not arrogance. It's training. They've conditioned their brains to think in expansion, not limitation. They treat money like a game of chess, strategic, not emotional. When they fail, they don't say, I lost. They say, I learned. When they succeed, they don't say, I'm done. They say, what's next? The rich aren't different because they have money. They have money because they think differently. Your goal isn't to copy what the rich do, it's to study how they think. Because every external habit you see was once an internal belief they built. Chapter 10. The Power of Repetition. The brain learns through consistency, not intensity. You can't just read one book or listen to one audiobook and expect transformation. That's like going to the gym once and wondering why you don't have abs. Neural reprogramming requires immersion, repetition, ritual. Every day you must flood your mind with wealth thoughts until your default reaction to problems becomes progress. That's how millionaires are made, not overnight, but over time. They build daily disciplines, morning visualization of goals, nightly gratitude for progress, strategic reflection on lessons learned, and eventually those habits become hardwired. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your training. So train daily, because your brain doesn't care what's real. It cares what's repeated. In the next section, we'll break down the hidden emotional triggers that shape your relationship with wealth, the invisible feelings that either attract abundance or repel it. You'll learn how to release financial guilt, handle pressure like a millionaire, and develop the emotional stability required to build lasting success. You've reprogrammed the mind. Now it's time to rewire the heart. Friend, write your opinion on this topic in the comments. Do you agree with me or not? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Chapter 11. Emotional Intelligence. Financial Intelligence. Here's a truth most people never realize. Your emotions manage your money more than your logic ever will. Think about it. Every bad financial decision you've ever made, buying something you didn't need, avoiding a conversation you should have had, staying in a job or partnership that drained you, wasn't because you lacked information. It was because you let emotion override discipline. Your emotional patterns determine your financial patterns. That's why emotional intelligence is wealth's secret weapon. Millionaires don't make decisions when they're reactive. They wait until they're rational. They've trained their minds to pause between feeling and action, because between stimulus and response lies a choice, and that's where your power is. The poor panic when the market dips. The rich stay patient. The poor get jealous when someone wins. The rich get curious. The poor take things personally. The rich take things professionally. When you train your emotional responses, you stop being tossed by external circumstances. You become a calm strategist in a noisy world. And that calmness, that's your competitive edge. Because in a chaotic world, clarity is currency. Chapter 12. Releasing Financial Guilt. Let's talk about guilt, because most people carry it without even knowing. You want more money, but something inside whispers, do I even deserve it? Maybe you grew up hearing that rich people were selfish. Maybe you feel bad for wanting more than your parents had. Maybe you're afraid that success will make you unrelatable, arrogant, or judged. That's guilt disguised as humility, and it's silently repelling abundance. You can't attract what you secretly resent. If deep down you believe money is bad, your brain will protect you from it. It will sabotage deals, delay action, and drain motivation, all to stay safe from the thing it associates with guilt. So here's what you must understand. Money is neutral. It doesn't change who you are. It amplifies you. If you're generous, money will help you give more. If you're creative, money will help you build more. If you're disciplined, money will help you grow more. It's not evil. It's energy. And energy simply flows toward purpose. You must forgive yourself for wanting more. You must release the belief that success means selfishness. Because abundance doesn't create distance. It creates options. And the world needs more people with good hearts and great resources. Chapter 13, Stress Management, the Hidden Wealth Skill. If you can't manage pressure, you can't manage prosperity. That's the paradox. Most people want the life of a millionaire, but not the stress tolerance it requires. You think more money will bring more peace, but at first it brings more responsibility, more eyes on you, more weight on your shoulders. The rich don't avoid stress, they transform it. They use it as fuel. They view it as feedback. They understand that pressure is simply the body's signal to grow stronger. You're not overwhelmed. You're undertrained. When your nervous system interprets pressure as danger, you freeze. When you train it to interpret pressure as opportunity, you perform. Start small. Put yourself in mildly uncomfortable situations intentionally. Wake up earlier than you want. Make that difficult call. Speak up when you're afraid. Every time you step into pressure with purpose, your stress tolerance expands, and with it, your capacity for success. Because the truth is, you can't hold more wealth than your nervous system can handle. Chapter 14. The company you keep shapes your mind. Look around you. Who are you spending your time with? Are they stretching your thinking or shrinking it? Your brain mirrors the energy of the 5 people you interact with most. Their conversations, habits, and standards become your subconscious programming. If you hang around complainers, you'll normalize complaining. If you hang around builders, you'll normalize building. That's why the rich protect their circle like a fortress. They don't avoid people, they curate proximity. Show me your circle, and I'll show you your future. You can't train your brain for wealth while surrounding yourself with people addicted to excuses. You need to be around visionaries, people who make growth a lifestyle, not a phase. If you don't have them yet, don't worry. Start digitally. Listen to audiobooks. Watch documentaries. Study the habits of the greats. Because when you expose your brain to high-frequency thinking long enough, your old patterns start to dissolve. You rise to the standard of your environment. So design it intentionally. Chapter 15. Building your mental wealth habits. Habits are how your brain saves energy. They're automated scripts running in the background, deciding 90% of your behavior without your permission. So if you don't consciously build habits that create wealth, you'll unconsciously keep habits that kill it. Here's what millionaires do differently. They automate their success. Their daily routines are not random. They're rituals. They wake up early not because it's trendy, but because it gives them control before the world starts taking from them. They plan their week before it starts. They journal their wins and losses to build awareness. They track their spending and investments like a pilot monitors altitude. And most importantly, they protect their focus. Remember, the rich don't have more time. They have fewer distractions. When your habits align with your goals, discipline becomes effortless. You don't need to motivate yourself every day. Your systems do it for you, because motivation fades, but habits, they stay. In the next section, we'll dive into behavioral wealth programming, the actions that multiply your money after your mindset is aligned. You'll discover how to use leverage, time, and energy like the rich do, turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary returns. The brain is ready. Now it's time to move from thinking rich to acting rich. Chapter 16. Action is the real affirmation. You can think wealthy thoughts all day, but without action, it's just noise. True affirmations aren't what you say in the mirror. They're what you prove through consistent effort. You can tell yourself, "I'm a millionaire in the making." But if your habits scream procrastination, fear, and inconsistency, your brain believes your behavior, not your words. Your actions are the loudest affirmation your mind can hear. So here's the truth. You can't think your way to wealth. You must act your way into belief. Action is what rewires the subconscious faster than words. Because when you take action, you create evidence, and evidence creates confidence. Start small, but move daily. Make one call, read 10 pages, invest $1. Break one bad habit. Each small action tells your brain, "This is who I am now." That's how identity shifts, not overnight, but through hundreds of small aligned steps. So stop waiting to feel ready. Start, and let readiness catch up. Chapter 17. Leverage is the richest word in the world. The poor trade time for money. The rich trade money for more time. That's the difference. Leverage is how the wealthy multiply effort. They understand one simple truth. If your income depends entirely on your effort, you'll always be capped by exhaustion. You can't build wealth on hustle alone. You need systems, scalability, and smart delegation. The rich ask, "How can I get this done without me doing it?" They build teams. They automate. They create assets that work while they rest. The goal isn't to work less, it's to make your work compound. If you're a one-person show forever, you'll stay in survival mode forever. Start asking leverage-based questions. How can I use my skills to create recurring income? How can I turn my knowledge into a course, a book, or a product? How can I use technology to save time? Every time you trade repetition for automation, you buy back energy. And energy is the ultimate currency. If you appreciate our efforts and our thoughts, subscribe and like this video. We need to show the world that there are many people like us. We must always continue to improve. Chapter 18. Think long-term. Act daily. Most people fail because they think short-term. They want instant success, instant validation, instant rewards. The rich think in decades, but act in days. They understand that the real compounding effect isn't just in investments, it's in consistency. You might not see results today or tomorrow, but success compounds quietly until one day it looks like luck. The poor chase speed, the rich chase sustainability. Your brain loves quick dopamine hits. That's why scrolling, shopping, and shortcuts feel so good. But discipline requires delayed gratification. It means choosing progress over pleasure again and again. So when you feel like it's not working, remember, the reward is growing underground. Every action, every repetition, every small choice is laying foundation. Stay consistent. Success doesn't show up for those who start fast. It stays with those who never stop. Chapter 19. The energy of money. Money flows where energy is respected. It doesn't follow laziness, chaos, or entitlement. It follows intention, clarity, and value. Think of money as energy moving through an ecosystem. If you hoard it out of fear, it stagnates. If you waste it without purpose, it evaporates. But if you circulate it with wisdom, through value, investment, and contribution, it multiplies. The rich don't chase money. They channel it. They see themselves as stewards, not slaves. Money doesn't come to those who want it. It comes to those who respect what it represents. Start treating every dollar like a decision. Where is it going? What energy is it carrying? Is it aligned with your values, your goals, your purpose? When you spend with awareness, you build financial alignment. When you earn with purpose, you attract more opportunities to serve. This is how money becomes a mirror, reflecting who you are becoming. Chapter 20. How to think like a creator, not a consumer. Here's the harsh truth. Most people are programmed to consume, not create. They consume entertainment, opinions, and validation. They scroll more than they study. They react more than they reflect. The rich reverse it. They consume intentionally, but they create obsessively. They don't just buy ideas, they sell them. They don't just use tools, they build them. They don't just watch the world move, they design its direction. Consumers spend, creators multiply. So ask yourself, are you building something the world can use, or are you just scrolling through what others have built? Every time you shift from reaction to creation, you increase your value in the marketplace, because money follows value creation. And the more value you give, the more income you can sustain. The difference between broke and wealthy isn't intelligence, it's initiative. Creators take responsibility for the results they want. Consumers wait for permission, and wealth never waits. You are now learning how to move like the rich, how to structure your actions and decisions in alignment with abundance. In the next part, we'll dive into mental and emotional mastery, how to stay disciplined, focused, and driven when the world distracts you, how to handle rejection, failure, and fatigue like a millionaire, and how to stay hungry when others get comfortable. Because it's not just about training your brain for money, it's about training your spirit for greatness. Chapter 21. Discipline is your greatest investment. Everyone talks about passive income, but the truth is, the most valuable asset you'll ever own is discipline. Because discipline compounds faster than money ever could. Without it, every dream dies in delay. Every opportunity is lost in hesitation. Every plan is drowned by comfort. Discipline is the bridge between goals and greatness. Millionaires don't rely on motivation, they rely on structure. They know emotions can't be trusted. You won't always feel inspired, you won't always feel ready. But if you move anyway, despite resistance, you activate a power most people never touch. Discipline means showing up when it's inconvenient. It means saying no to distractions that cost your destiny. It means mastering the small, boring details that everyone else ignores. Because it's not the dramatic efforts that create wealth, it's the daily disciplines. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you earn self-respect. And that respect turns into confidence. And that confidence becomes momentum. That's why the most powerful phrase you can ever live by is, I do what I say I'll do. When your word becomes law to yourself, success becomes inevitable. Chapter 22. Failure is part of the formula. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's the ingredient that makes it possible. The poor fear failure, the rich study it. You will never meet a wealthy person who hasn't failed, repeatedly, publicly, painfully. But here's the difference. They don't personalize it. They don't say, I am a failure. They say, that failed. Now, I know what doesn't work. The poor take failure as rejection. The rich take failure as redirection. Every mistake teaches you the rules of the game, and the more lessons you collect, the more fluent you become in success. Failure isn't fatal. Quitting is. And quitting doesn't happen when you lose. It happens when you stop learning. So reframe it. When you fall, you've proven you tried. When you tried, you've proven you're alive. And as long as you're alive, you're still in the game. The world belongs to the ones who refuse to stop playing. Please like and subscribe if you want a better future for your children, your family, and yourself. It's very difficult to achieve success today, but I'm sure you'll succeed. All you have to do is learn and discover new things. Chapter 23, The Mental Game of Resilience. Resilience isn't about being fearless. It's about being flexible. When life hits you, you bend, you don't break, you adapt, you recover faster than before. Resilience is built through repetition, through countless moments of stress followed by calm. You've been through pain before and survived. So stop telling yourself you can't handle what's coming. Every setback you've overcome has already trained you for the next level. Remember, you've already survived 100% of your worst days. The rich understand this truth. Pain is temporary. Regret is permanent. So they lean into the hard seasons. They build during storms. They use rejection as resistance training for the mind. Resilience is the millionaire's muscle. You can't buy it. You can only build it. And once you do, there's nothing the world can take from you that will keep you down for long. Chapter 24. Your attention is the new gold. If you want to know who the richest person in the room is, don't look at their car. Look at their focus. In a world addicted to distraction, attention is the new currency. The rich understand this. They protect their time like it's treasure. They design boundaries around what gets their attention and what doesn't. Where your attention goes, your life flows. Every notification you answer, every pointless scroll, every argument you entertain costs you mental bandwidth. And that bandwidth is the fuel your goals depend on. You can't create if you're constantly reacting. You can't plan your future if you're stuck analyzing someone else's. So cut the noise. Silence the chaos. Focus like a sniper, not a scattershot. Set your phone down for 1 hour a day and do deep, undistracted work. That 1 hour will separate you from 99% of the world. Because the rich aren't smarter. They're just present. They don't chase every opportunity. They build the one that matters most. Chapter 25. The Power of Purpose. Money without meaning is just paper. That's why so many people make money and still feel empty, because wealth without purpose feels like weight. Purpose gives money direction. It tells your brain why the work matters. When your mission is bigger than yourself, your motivation never runs out. The rich aren't driven by greed. They're driven by impact. They know that if their success only feeds them, it dies with them. But if it feeds others, it lives forever. You don't need to change the world overnight. Start by improving the world around you. Help one person, build one idea, create one ripple. Purpose isn't discovered. It's designed through action. You find it when you start contributing, not when you sit waiting for clarity. The more you grow, the more your purpose expands. And the more purpose you feel, the less fear controls you. Because when you know why you're doing something, the how becomes easier to figure out. In the next part, we'll enter the final transformation, how to move from personal success to lasting significance. You'll learn how to sustain your wealth mindset for decades, how to keep growing when you've already won, and how to build the kind of life that not only makes you rich, but unshakably fulfilled. Because wealth isn't the goal. It's the tool that helps you live with meaning, peace, and power. Chapter 26. Stay hungry, stay humble. The most dangerous point in your journey is not when you have nothing. It's when you finally start winning. Because success whispers lies. It tells you you've made it. It tempts you to slow down, to relax, to let the fire fade. But the truly rich, they never stop learning. They never stop evolving. They never mistake comfort for completion. The day you think you've arrived is the day you start declining. They stay hungry, not desperate, but driven. They remain humble, not weak, but wise. Humility keeps you teachable. Hunger keeps you moving. And when you balance both, you become unstoppable. Every level of success requires a new version of you. So, as your income grows, let your curiosity grow with it. Read more, listen more, serve more, because money may open doors, but wisdom keeps them open. Chapter 27. The difference between rich and wealthy. Let's make something clear. Rich and wealthy are not the same. Rich people have money. Wealthy people have freedom. The poor chase income. The rich chase ownership. The wealthy chase time. The goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to be free. Freedom is the ability to wake up and decide what to do with your time. To work because you want to, not because you have to. That's real wealth. Control over your time, energy, and attention. You don't need millions in the bank to feel wealthy. You just need alignment between your time and your values. So ask yourself today, how much of your life belongs to you? Who owns your attention? Who dictates your schedule? Financial success means nothing if you're spiritually bankrupt. And true wealth is peace, not possessions. Chapter 28. Reprogramming your subconscious for abundance. Your brain is a supercomputer. But here's the problem. It's been running outdated software since childhood. Maybe you grew up hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. Be grateful for what you have. Those phrases became code in your subconscious, and that code still runs silently, limiting what you think is possible. But here's the truth. You can rewrite the code. Every time you learn something new, every time you visualize success and follow it with action, you're reprogramming your neural pathways. Repetition rewires reality. The more you affirm wealth through action, the more your subconscious accepts it as truth. That's why You must surround yourself with environments that normalize success. Podcasts, books, mentors, all of it counts. You're feeding your brain data that expands its definition of what's possible. And when your subconscious accepts abundance as your new normal, your behavior naturally aligns to achieve it. That's how millionaires think. That's how they train their brains. Chapter 29. Invest in growth, not just assets. You can buy stocks, property, and crypto, but the highest ROI in the world will always be you. Because here's the secret most people miss. Your income will never outgrow your mindset. Assets can depreciate, but a trained mind compounds forever. The rich understand that self-education is their greatest edge. They spend thousands, even millions, on learning because knowledge buys speed, and speed buys freedom. While others hesitate, they act because they know. They invest in mentors, courses, experiences, and networks. They know that the more skilled they become, the easier it is to spot opportunities others overlook. So don't be afraid to spend on growth. The books, the seminars, the training, they're not expenses. They're accelerators. Every time you invest in learning, you shorten the distance between where you are and where you want to be. That's not consumption. That's construction. Chapter 30. The Legacy Mindset. Let's go beyond money. Let's talk about what comes after success. Because the ultimate goal isn't to die rich, it's to live remembered. Legacy isn't about monuments. It's about moments. It's about the people whose lives are better because you existed. Wealth fades, impact echoes. When you operate from a legacy mindset, your decisions change. You start thinking generationally, not just about income, but influence. Not just about profit, but purpose. You start asking, what values am I passing down? What kind of world am I helping to build? What story will they tell when I'm gone? The rich leave inheritance. The wealthy leave blueprints, a life of integrity, generosity, and self-mastery, a standard of excellence that inspires others long after you're gone. That's the ultimate level of wealth, impact that outlives you. You've now walked through the entire mental framework of abundance. You've learned how the rich think, act, and adapt differently. You've seen the mindset shifts that separate the dreamers from the doers. But the final part of this audiobook is the most important of all. How to embody everything you've learned, how to lock these lessons into your identity, and how to sustain wealth, peace, and purpose for life. The next message is your closing chapter, the final awakening. Chapter 31, the difference between knowing and becoming. You've heard enough strategies. You've absorbed the mindset. You've taken in the lessons of the wealthy. Now comes the real test, turning knowledge into identity. Because here's the truth. Knowing doesn't change your life. Becoming does. Remember, information doesn't transform you. Integration does. Every insight you've gained from this audiobook means nothing until it becomes part of who you are. So how do you make that shift? You repeat the habits until they're automatic. You make the decisions until they're instinct. You live the lessons until they become your lifestyle. This is what the rich understand. Wealth isn't something you get. It's something you grow into. When you train your brain long enough, your new normal becomes abundance, not scarcity. Calm, not chaos. Action, not hesitation. That's the moment you stop chasing success and start embodying it. Chapter 32. The mindset loop. Let's break it down one last time. Your thoughts shape your emotions. Your emotions drive your actions. Your actions create your results. And your results reinforce your beliefs, creating a loop. Most people stay poor because they never break the loop. They think small, feel small, act small, and end up confirming that life is small. But when you think big, act big, and feel worthy of more, the loop reverses. Your success feeds your confidence. Your confidence feeds your actions, and your actions feed your results. What you believe becomes what you build. So check your loop today. What kind of thoughts are you feeding it? What emotions are you rehearsing every morning? You can't have a wealthy life with a broke mindset. Reprogram the loop, and you'll reprogram your life. Chapter 33, The Habits That Keep You Rich. You've heard this phrase before. Getting rich is one thing. Staying rich is another. And it's true, because wealth is fragile when it's not protected by discipline. So what habits keep the rich rich? They review their goals weekly. They budget even when they have millions. They read daily. They network intentionally. And they protect their energy like it's sacred. They don't just chase opportunities. They choose them carefully. They know every yes carries 1,000 hidden no's. Wealth isn't kept through luck. It's kept through awareness. Your mind must stay sharper than your lifestyle. Your character must stay stronger than your income. Because if your mindset can't handle success, success will destroy you. So guard your mind. Feed it discipline. Starve it of excuses. That's how you stay wealthy long after you've become rich. Chapter 34, The Power of Stillness. The wealthiest people on earth are not the busiest. They're the most focused. Stillness is their secret weapon. Because when you learn to quiet your mind, you can finally hear your intuition. And intuition is how the subconscious guides your success. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Every morning, take 5 minutes of stillness, no phone, no noise. Just breathe and observe. Ask yourself, what matters most today? What can I do right now to move one step closer to my goals? When you start your day from clarity, you end it with purpose. That's how you master time, energy, and wealth, by mastering yourself. Chapter 35, From Success to Significance. At this point, wealth becomes less about numbers and more about meaning. The richest people in the world eventually reach a realization, what's the point of abundance if it dies with me? That's when success evolves into significance. True wealth is being able to look around and see lives changed because you lived. It's mentoring someone. It's building something that outlasts you. It's teaching what you once had to fight to learn. The greatest ROI on wealth is impact. When you help others rise, you don't lose anything. You multiply fulfillment. So never forget this. You were not born just to make money. You were born to make meaning. Let money serve your mission, not replace it. Chapter 36, Your New Mental Blueprint. You've walked through scarcity. You've rebuilt your beliefs. You've trained your brain to see opportunity where others see obstacles. Now it's time to live like it. From this day forward, your thoughts are assets, not liabilities. Your energy is capital. Invest it wisely. Your time is equity. Spend it intentionally. Your relationships are partnerships. Build them with purpose. Every morning, remind yourself, I am the architect of my future. I am the investor of my time. I am the creator of my wealth. The rich don't wait for the world to change. They train their minds and change their world. You have everything you need to begin. You just need to decide, and then do. Because wealth doesn't start in your wallet, it starts in your mind. And once your mind becomes rich, the rest of your life has no choice but to follow. Dear viewer, please write in the comments what interested you most in the video. This will help us improve our videos. Our message: if this audiobook spoke to you, if even one line lit a spark in you, take a moment right now to make a promise to yourself. Hit that like button as your personal contract, your silent agreement to train your mind daily. Share in the comments which idea, lesson, or quote hit you the hardest. Which habit will you start today? And if you're ready to keep growing, to keep mastering the mind that builds your future, then subscribe to this channel. Join a global movement of people rewriting their mental code for success. Because this isn't just an audiobook, it's your blueprint for becoming unshakable. And remember, the richest minds aren't born, they're built. So build yours every single day. You are the asset. Train your mind, and the rest will follow.